So I've got my all my stakes in. That's how that looks, and I can clean that up by trimming those back a little bit later if I want to. So we're going to get on to the weaving portion of our basket here. When you put these in too, they're all going to kind of want to TP up. Well, we're not weaving the basket that way, so when they're wet, press them down. Okay. I'm going to start with 3 weavers. I'm going to do a triple weave just to kind of get these set. So I'm going to adjust this so you can see what I'm doing. I am a lap weaver. And so I'm going to have you over my shoulder so you can see what I'm doing here. So if you don't know how to do triple twine, you're going to start behind 3 consecutive stakes. 1, 2, 3. And then it is in front of 2, behind 1. Now, when you start out with your weavers, don't make them real long, especially with all this to contend with. All they do is get caught up into it. Another couple things that I do, and usually I say don't do this, but in this scenario, take your spray bottle and spray these guys a little bit up here. They tend to tangle, and then when they get dry, they tend to bust. So if you just spray them a little bit, it makes them kind of flow around each other as you're weaving instead of busting. And if it does bust, and it's, you know, it's common to have maybe you get up farther and that this stake is just a bad stake and it pops. I'll show you how to fix that. Anyway, so in front of 2, and if you look at this, the way I learned it was this. In the gap that the last one came out. So here's the last one. So I'm going to go on top of or in the gap the last one came out and out the next gap. You're always making the stroke. I'm right-handed, so that means that I weave to the right or clockwise in this scenario. So I'm always taking the weaver that's the farthest away from the direction I'm going to make the stroke. So in the gap the last one came out and out the next gap. Okay, so not only do you got that going on, but you're also shaping. And once again, if these get dry, spray them a little bit. So when you're doing this, you actually want to bring this out and make the stroke. And you think, oh, that's not going to make a big difference because they're all going to whop back. But in fact, it does. Whatever way you're weaving it, because I mean gravity wants to pull this down, especially since I'm weaving on my lap. If you weave on the table, it's going to be easier for these to fall out, but that's not the way I weave. So, anyways, pull them out. So I'm going to do this for about 3 rows, and then I'm going to add those additional stakes that I need to make that design happen. So basically, all we're doing at this point is just kind of solidifying things. So 3 rows.